this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. So I am here with the Veteran Noob Part 3. Where are we now? It's been about a week. I've been progressing through everything as quickly as I can given the circumstances, and we're ready to take down boss number 3. I probably could move faster if I actually spend more time per day playing this, but as it stands, everything I've done so far did not require me to try to pull any cars. It's simply basic playing to get the resources you need in the game, and you're able to basically do what you need to do without much trouble. And that's the beauty of becoming a new beginner at this point in the game, is that there's so many things that are given to you for free that you basically don't have much trouble getting through the beginning stuff. Unlike when you first started many years ago, where everything had to be acquired by keys, so there's random chance of what you get. Basically, nothing's random here. With the Rookie Race Pass, you can acquire the Tier 3 car, the BMW. With Legends, you can acquire the Tier 2 car, and you start off with the GTI Tier 1, and you get a free Boss Mustang fully upgraded anyway. So all these things are now designed to basically make sure you can proceed through the game without much trouble. I actually acquired this BMW about 2 days ago using the Rookie Race Pass, but it costs a bit of money to upgrade it to the point where it's ready to take on the next boss. Also, in the meantime, one of the quickest ways and best ways to get that cash to get everything done is to run all the map stuff that otherwise comes up, like the Legend trials, like the Prize Cup that came on. That was 50 races. Not fun by any means, but if you grind through it, you get it done, you get a lot of cash and the silver keys. So what that does is allow you to basically come out of the next few days with a ton of cash and a ton of keys. All this will be used in the future, but the cash is used now because every little bit of cash counts. Here is where things start to get a little more frustrating, because you're still getting lower level of cash, getting towards the end of each tier. Cash is becoming more and more of an issue. I left the last race of each one so you guys don't have to watch me run 15 races of everything. But basically, I'm clearing the map here of everything I can. I am definitely doing the restriction trial because it gives keys. And one of the things that you want to work towards while you're heading towards Shax is getting together as many silver keys as you can, preferably 750. And that's my goal. I am not going to pull silver keys until I have 750 keys, because then you can jump right into becoming part of a milestone crew. I am also at rank 28, so I am close to the rank 30 needed to go ahead and get started with Tashimi X, giving me the GR Supra. But upgrading an expensive tier 5 again requires a lot of cash, and that's going to be always the problem for this part in the game as a new player, is maintaining that cash flow. Now, assuming that you have your BMW ready, remember, once you can beat the ladder, which I just did, I know the BMW is ready. I don't upgrade the car further than what I need to beat the ladder, mainly because cash is not coming that quickly, and we don't want to waste a ton of cash. We want to keep as much of it as possible for the next car in the next tier to upgrade with. Knowing that I just beat the ladder final race, I am now confidently moving into beating the crew itself. There's no rush to get into this unless you want to beat the first few guys just to kind of get cash flow for building your BMW. This BMW is not hard to drive. Basically, the way it's upgraded now, I just kind of use nitrous in third, and it'll run into fourth pretty much a little bit and give you one of your best results. It runs a little bit under dyno, just like most tier 3 cars. 10.3 dyno will get you like a 10.1 run or something along those lines. 10.1 should have more than enough margin of gap to the final boss that you should not have any issue beating her. Again, the better you can beat the final ladder race in the first 4 tiers, the better you can beat the boss. And yet again, I'm going to warn you that this strategy does not work for Shax. He's the only one that actually runs a little bit quicker than his, not a little bit, but a lot quicker than the final ladder race, versus everybody else runs slower than the final ladder race. So when you get to Shax, we'll do things a little differently, because you have to know that he's a little bit quicker. But for 1 through 4, the tier ladder races are more than enough to tell you exactly when your car is ready, and that's one of the best gauges for any player to use, rather than having to look it up online. What does the boss run? Your best way to guarantee getting to the boss and getting through the boss is simply having the car faster than the boss can run. And that doesn't mean you have to build it all the way. It doesn't mean you have to wait forever. It just means enough patience to build it to the point where it's going to win. And we are ready to start collecting some bigger cash clumps, along with a little bit of gold. Gold has almost hit 1,000 at this point. After I beat Kurtz, I should be somewhere near 1,000 gold, which is pretty good at this level, considering we're in the beginner section. We haven't beat Shax yet. We're going to go into hopefully a milestone crew, packing at least 1,000 plus gold for gas money. I see the red. That's not a good sign. Let me this is never good. So in fact, since we have this, let's talk about this. Anytime you're playing, you get the red Wi-Fi signal. Stop playing, because the red Wi-Fi signal means you're not connecting to the server for whatever reason, which also means potentially that you're not updating into the server. Now, it went away as soon as I went back to the garage. That's good news. So we're going to watch ads to kind of sync the server with the game, and then we'll come back and continue and show you guys beating Kurtz. All right, we're back. So added some gas. That was actually one of the longest periods of time spent playing this game is watching ads. Unfortunately, if you want to save gold, that's going to have to be one of the strategies you use, is watching ads to reduce the need for using gold for gas. What you will do eventually, as you get more gold and you get access to gold quicker through being part of a milestone crew, you can be more lenient about using or more relaxed about using gold for adding gas. But in the beginning, what you want to do is gather up resources, not burn them up. So right now it's almost like conditioning for later, trying to be conservative, try to be patient, learn to earn the gold, earn the cash, and use it very carefully without burning it up quickly. Because in the end, this game is all about testing your patience, right? If you don't have enough patience, you got to pay. If you have patience, though, you can earn these resources slowly but surely, and then hold on to them and use them as needed. So that's kind of the strategy that is needed for this game if you want to play it long term. And any veteran player that has played the game mostly free will tell you it's a little bit of, it's actually a lot of luck. I mean, luck is important, but it's a lot of management. A lot of it is patience, resource management, and then using the resources on the right things. Building every car that comes along is a bad idea. Spending on stuff that you thought might be good without looking into it more, and then finding out later that it's in fact pretty bad. That is really why people get stuck. And then you're taking a lousy live racer into live racing, throwing around 200k bets, hoping that it'll stick, whereas in reality a lot of times you're just going to lose your 200k. That or even many times I've seen people go all in live racing and then lose everything, and then now you're back to zero. You have to go earn it on the maps, earn enough to come back and then try again. Why do that to yourself? All right, so we've beaten Kurtz while I'm blabbering. So grand finale. Now the grand finals isn't the final, right? This is only tier 4. Finals tier 5, but they make a big deal out of it. So one last race, you get the tier 4 card. If she wins, you give the 100 gold and hope you never see me again. Of course, let's race. Of course, missed out on the nitrous. Of course, race anyway. Again, with the margin that I have, I'm pretty confident I have no problem here, as long as I don't completely screw up my race, which I really can't with this car. It's not that sensitive to launch. It's not that sensitive overall to anything. It's just a, pretty easy car to use, and it's free, right? So, am I going to keep building the T3? Probably. It seems like it has good potential for being used long term, as far as getting through possibly some tempest, but it is, again, kind of a lousy sprinter. So if I get something better along the line here, I may not actually use this car in the future. So here we go. We've now acquired tier 3 boss car. Okay, Curse's Mustang. Why not take her for a spin? This car isn't very good. It's very slow. And unfortunately, and that's by design, these boss cars will come along and will get you through maybe one race for the next tier, and that's really about it. I mean, this is a 17-second half-mile car, and now, remember, you're in tier 4, you're no longer doing the quarter mile. Everything's going to be half-mile from here on, so it's going to be half-mile runs. I mean, you can tune the car, certainly, and see what you can do with it. I can't remember exactly how this car tunes, but 17 seconds. Joy. That's really slow. You're gonna have to be a lot quicker than that if you want to beat Victor. And unfortunately for you, this is probably not going to be the car you're going to be using for that. So that means you're now well into tier 4, looking at, I need a tier 4 car to do what I need to do to get through. I have the Corvette here, but again, that was a free car given to me, and we're not going to use it, okay? Because it's not something a player who started a week ago would get, so we're not going to use it. We're going to use what the game gives us and allows us to get through. And my plan, in the old days, the plan is always this. In the old days, the plan is simply pick up a Nissan GTR Premium from Tier 4. We can do it by brand. It's probably easier. Right? Where's Nissan? McLaren, Nissan. Here we go. There are a lot of GTRs in the game, but this is the base, and you will win enough money, just enough money to buy this thing. But then you have to build it to but stage 5 all around. You can tune it at stage 5 all around with no fusions and beat Victor. So this was the classic strategy to do. Basically, buy this car, build it, and beat Victor with it. However, once again, things have changed over time. We have now Legends. And in Legends, we have a car that is also Tier 4, which I'm actually slowly restoring right now. And that is the NSXR. The NSXR is a relatively, well, not just relatively, it's a really good Tier 4 car. In fact, it's a top Tier 4 car once you fully max and fully elite it, and it's good for everything. Live racing, map racing, Tempest, up to a point. I mean, it cannot beat the final sprint for Tempest 3, but you can just either spend easily earned gold to swap the car and get it done, or by then you have other options that could get it done. So this is a solid car to build for the purpose of trying to get to where we need to be with the numbers. And it gains performance really fast with fusions, making it a really strong car to fusion out and build, allowing us to get quickly to where we need to be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get an import part. Now, the thing is, you can't select this car to use in most things. For example, tuning. It's not in your map for tuning, but it is available for ladder races, and you can keep upgrading it even though you're still restoring it. It's just that you cannot tune the car. So basically, it's going to be purely upgraded to the point where it's going to beat Victor. But, you know, we're getting a nice head start here. It's not hard to get it rolling. It doesn't drive quite the same as once it's fully restored and tuned, but it does fine. And again, with Victor, you need to run a certain time, right, to beat him. And that time is going to require some upgrades and some fusions. With this car, because the fusions are harder to come by, that's going to be one of your main issues. But don't forget, you've been saving bronze keys all this time. And saving keys isn't for the sake of saving keys. Saving keys is for the sake of being able to use them at the right time for the right purpose. And bronze keys allow you to get fusions for any brand of a car that's not Purple Star using keys, right? Because we now have another thing that we didn't have before called the parts crate, and leveraging the parts crate will allow us to get fusions for that car. And Honda fusions, unfortunately, cannot be acquired through stripping other cars unless it's unless you're pulling the car as part of pulling cars, and then it's a duplicate and you're going to strip it. So you're really kind of stuck looking at this possibility here. The other thing is, eventually, you will have Legend Cup crates come along. Not yet, but eventually. And when you have those around, they will help you also. But at this point in the game, that's not possible, right? So you're not going to get that. The other thing is, right now, the problem is I cannot select the Honda as the car to get the fusions. So that's the tricky part. This car is actually not in your garage to be selected. Notice that? So that's a weird thing with Legend cars, is that you can't really select it like you can select a car that is in the garage. But that doesn't mean it's not there. It's just not selected currently. But by going into the Legend garage and selecting that way, no problem. And if you have enough keys, you can burn 3 sets of these and get a guaranteed stage 6, or you can just burn 1 or 2 smaller sets and get some fusions and still have a chance to get stage 6. So this is not going to be a problem for you to get some fusions nowadays for this car, unlike before, where Honda fusions were so rare. I wouldn't even recommend you to put the Honda in as an option for anything until later when you have more resources. But right now, this is fine. And unlike building a live racer, if you have the green fusion, let's say I got a blue fusion for intake, right? But if I had the option to put the blue fusion in, I would upgrade the slot that lets me put that option in. So same would go for here. Instead of putting it at the lowest level upgrade, I'm going to put it here to open up the blue slot. So if I were to pull a blue fusion, I can put it right in. For the intake, of course, for engine, of course, we don't have that option. We'll just put it here. But notice this car gains performance really, really fast with fusions. This is where you're going to go back to live, earn your bronze keys, and then you're going to keep popping it in this car. I can tell you, at the rate that it is increasing in fusion, not in fusion, in Evo, this car will be ready definitely within, I'd say, a week, within a few days, I would say, to take on Victor and take him out. And in the meantime, again, you have your live racing, which I'm going to do. You have your tier 4 ladder races, your daily battle, which anytime it comes up, you should do, because there's some keys to be won down the line. And you're just going to keep collecting resources. Bronze keys, unlike in the old days, is a very critical component of a successful build for any car now. So you definitely need bronze keys. And bronze keys are rewarded first in live racing. Within a race or two, you're going to get some bronze keys. They come relatively quickly. And you're going to collect them as much as you can, because they will help you get through each part of the next tiers, whether it's Victor or later with Shax. Fusions are going to become more and more important for these cars, and you're going to get that through the bronze keys. Showdowns, check them out. If you have the possibility to run it, run it. If you don't worry about it. Okay, I can actually still run this showdown because I have the NSXR, because of the GT250. Some cars will qualify even though they're really, really slow cars. In other cases, you don't have any qualifying cars, don't worry about it. Run a few showdowns, even if you're going to lose, because the rewards from just running a certain number of showdowns still can be very beneficial. Okay. Now, for the crew battles, I wouldn't rush into that. Just like any tier, I worry about it when I get there, but you definitely want more cash, and you need to plan ahead to move towards beating Victor. And I'm very close. I'm halfway to Tashimi X, which means I will have the Supra and have it in hand well before I finish with Victor. So once you get the NSXR to the point where you can beat Victor, you can now start saving that cash and start building the tier 5 Supra in anticipation of taking on Shax. In preparation for the Supra, what I will do also is, when I have enough cash, and again, cash flow is the problem at this point in the game. You need to play a lot of live and other things just to get that cash flow going. But what you can do is actually go to tier 1. Let's go tier 1. Go to tier 1 and buy a specific car in preparation for fusions, because you want a lot of Toyota fusions. 30K a pop, they're not cheap, but at this point, they're also not super expensive. You don't have to rush to deliver them. Get a bunch of Toyota 86s, because all your green and blue fusions can come from those cars. So you'll have plenty of green and blue fusions ready for that Supra when it comes along. So you can pop it right in, and once you upgrade the stages, get that car ready to take down Shax in no time at all. The Supra is a very good car, and it beats Dyno. It will destroy Shax. In fact, I have a whole video on how quickly and easily you can use the Supra to destroy Shax. So Shax is going down soon, and we're not worried about it. So our priority now, back to live, hopefully with bots, or in this case, here we go. Hopefully with bots, and earn those bronze keys so I can power build or quick build the NSXR to where it needs to be to take care of Victor. Between cash and fusions, that will take, again, like I said, a few days, but definitely next week I will be updating with the next part where I'm going to be set up to go ahead and take down Victor for his car. I hope you like this video and some of this information is helpful to you. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like this video series and like my channel, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get notified when I put up new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.